Okay, in this video we're going to look at a really essential app for iPad and also an application for your Mac or your PC. It's called Dropbox, and Dropbox allows you to share files across various different devices. So anything that you want to access from your iPad, you may also want to access from your laptop or your PC or your Mac, and Dropbox allows you to do that really easily. So on your iPad, if you don't already have Dropbox installed, just tap on your App Store, have a search for Dropbox and install. It is free. If you have already got Dropbox installed, you're just going to go ahead and tap on the Dropbox icon. And when Dropbox loads on your iPad, you've got an option there to log in with an email address and a password. If you don't have an account, simply tap on Create Account. You're going to put your name in there, an email address and a password. You're going to create your free account. And then once you've done that, you can pop back to sign in, and you're going to sign in with the email address and the password that you just set for yourself. Once you've signed in, your Dropbox page appears, and you also get this message which asks about the camera upload. What the camera upload will do is every time you take a photograph or a video on your iPad, it will automatically upload those images or those videos to your Dropbox account. That can be very handy, but it can be a little bit irritating because it can take up bandwidth. So in other words, if you're wandering around and you're taking lots of photos and you don't have a very fast broadband connection where you happen to be, it can take quite a long time for those pictures to upload. So I would suggest you don't turn that on by default. It's very easy to turn it back on as and when you want to from your iPad. So this view here is my Dropbox contents. I've only got a couple of things in here. I've got a couple of photos here. We were looking at some Cindy Sherman images in class, so I've got a Cindy Sherman film stills photo, and there's a preview on the right hand side here, and there was a version that a student did that I also found on the internet. So I can choose to share those images further, so the share button at the top, I could choose to email that or send it a text message, etc. The other option that I could have is if I had something, I can obviously save my photo library here, but if I had another application that could edit this file, so if this was a word processing file, for example, I would be able to open that file in a different app and make changes to it, etc. Okay. The little star button allows you to set that as a favorite. Now what the favorites does is it shows you files which are available to you when you are offline. So any files that you have in your Dropbox folder that you want to be able to access on your iPad, you have to be online. If you want to access those files when you're not connected to the internet, you have to add them as a favorite. So in my favorites, that image there now would be available to me regardless of whether I had internet connection or not. So there's the contents of my Dropbox folder. Now if I wanted to organise my files, if I wanted to move some things around, or if I wanted to delete some images, I can do that fairly easily within the iPad app. If I tap on my those, tick box there, I want to move those into my photos folder. So those have now moved. If I wanted to delete those from my Dropbox, that image has now been deleted from my Dropbox. And that change would be reflected across my other devices that I had Dropbox installed on, and we'll show you that in a moment. Before we do that though, let's just look at some important settings in Dropbox. If you tap on the little gear icon, you get some settings pop up. Here's the camera upload that we talked about earlier. So this is where we can turn that on or off. And if you want some extra security on your Dropbox on iPad, you can add a passcode key. So you may, as well as having your passcode for your entire iPad, you may want to enter an extra level of security for your Dropbox app. And the last thing I want to show here is just how to unlink your iPad, unlink from Dropbox. That means you are now completely logged out of Dropbox on the iPad. None of those files are saved on the iPad. Nobody else has access to your Dropbox account except you with your username and password.